Hi, this is video 4 of my bookshelf tour. It's the tallest shelf. There's a big empty space because I've moved the books. First we have The Happy Prince by Oscar Wilde. Book confession, I've not read any Oscar Wilde, although I read a graphic novel of The Portrait of Dorian Gray. I don't know if that counts, I don't think so. I've not read any of his plays, I don't believe. Read anything else? So there's a thing that needs to be corrected. Next we have Under the Garden by Graham Greene. I'm trying to think of the first book I read by Graham Greene. I think it was The Quiet American. I've not read Our Man in Havana or Brighton Rock. I have read The End of the Affair. I think I've read one other, I can't quite remember. Next is My Purple Scented Novel by Ian McEwan. And although this is a thin book, I've not read it yet. 34 pages. Next we have Caligula by Suetonius. This is another little black penguin book. Next we have, I believe this is Irish, Mrs. Whippy by Cecilia Ahern. This is a Open Door book. All royalties from the Irish sales of the Open Door series go to a charity of the author's choice. Mrs. Whippy royalties go to the Carey Foundation. Not exactly sure what that is, but it's an Irish publisher, I believe. And again, I think, yeah, with the same publisher, this is No Dress Rehearsal by Mariah Keyes. Another thin book, 79 pages. Kim by Rudyard Kipling. I've not read much Rudyard Kipling beyond the poetry. I don't know if I have a copy of Just So Stories. And I've got a little black penguin book of Rudyard Kipling short stories. The Apple by Michael Faber. I've got a lot of Michael Faber books, but I've not read any of them. Also by the same author, The Fire Gospel. Wedding Present by Adele Guerras. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that. This is the ex-library book. I got a bookmark in it, but I haven't read it yet. Another thin book, 69 pages. The Spinning Heart by Donal Ryan. This is another library book. I think I got these all in a sale at the Kirkintilloch Library, which is quite a big library. The Autumn of the Patriarch by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I've not read all that much Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Not the well-known stuff. Nobody Writes to the Colonel. I'm trying to remember the other one. It's not coming to me. Apparently this costs £3. The Time Jigsaw Deliverance by David Monroe, and David Monroe is not exactly local, but he's a Scottish writer, and he's written a time travelling trilogy. 3 books in total, and this is the signed copy. I think this is the last in a trilogy, Awakening by David Monroe. I don't know if there's maybe a 4th book, I'm not exactly sure. It's in there. I went to see a talk by the author. Really good. Nice guy. This is also signed. This Side of Paradise and The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Like so many other people, I have read The Great Gatsby. I've read The Last Tycoon, which was his last unfinished novel. I've read A Diamond as Big as the Ritz. I think that was a collection of short stories. Next we have No Fireworks by Rog Glass. Rog Glass, I think, is a Scottish writer, quite a young guy. He edited a book called Open Door, or The Year of Open Doors, and it was all these young Scottish writers writing short stories. Although I have not read any Rog Glass other than his work in the Gutter magazine. The Diamond Smugglers by Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming, of course, the creator of James Bond. But this is out with James Bond. I think it's a standalone work. Quite nice African type bookmark. I think it's made of old tire, I think. The Adamantian Palace by Stephen Dees. From the looks of it, it's a fantasy. Yeah. Once dragons ruled the world, and man was little more than prey. Then a way of subduing the dragons was discovered. Now the dragons are bred to be little more than mounts for knights and highly valued tokens in the diplomatic power players that underpin the role of the competing aristocratic houses. The empire has grown fat, and no one man wants it for himself. A man prepared to poison the king, just as he has poisoned his own father. A man prepared to murder his lover and bed her daughter. But unknown to him, there are flames on the way. A single dragon has gone missing, and even one dragon on the loose, returned to its full intelligence, its full fury, could spell disaster for the empire. But that is not all. Because of the actions of one unscrupulous mercenary, the rivals for the throne could soon be facing hundreds of dragons. So there you go, it's fantasy. I don't know why I've not read this yet. Here's the bookmark. Yeah. A church down in England. Gloucestershire Cathedral. So I'm going to read that straight away, since I'm reading fantasy this year. Next we have Masquerade by Joanna Taylor. I think a period piece. Historical fiction, I'm not exactly sure when. Surviving by Alan Macy. The only other Alan Macy book I've read is Sins of the Father, and that's about the trial at Nuremberg and one of the escaped Nazis, I can't remember exactly who it was, on trial in Israel. I can't remember the name of the Nazi. I think it was found in Argentina. It's going to bug me. I can't remember. Darn. Bloody Valentine by James Patterson. I've read some James Patterson. I think every booktuber probably has, even though they might not admit it. This is a I think it's a quick reads book. Then Hedge for the Edge, Keep Walking by Kate Tuff. I think Kate Tuff is another new young writer, but I don't think I've read any of her work. I don't think so. The Circus of Dr. Lau by Charles J. Finney. I know about this because The Circus of Dr. Lau is Joel Robinson, possibly Joel Hodgson's favourite movie. Joel Hodgson is the guy who I think partly created Mystery Science Theatre 3000, and in his last episode he says that The Circus of Dr. Lao is his favourite movie, and he has a quote which I can't exactly remember word for word. Seven Faces of Dr. Lao was the name of the movie. I've never seen it. I don't know how rare it is. Apparently this is fantasy, so I should be reading it right now, but I'll wait. I don't have a bookmark for it. Next we have the two books in the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men. I'm currently reading the first one of the trilogy. What's it called? The Knife of Never Letting Go. Yeah. I don't know exactly where it is. Somewhere. Of the Farm by John Updike. I didn't know I had this. Another ex-library book. And also bought in the big sale. I think all of these were near enough bought in the sale. Quite a big sale must have been. I've not read any John Updike. Selected Poems of Sophie Hannah. I need to look through these. I don't think I've read any of them. I might feature some on my channel. We'll see. The Garden Party and Other Stories by Catherine Mansfield. Nope, not read this before. As you can see, another library book. Quite a lot of short stories. The Society of Blood by Mark Morris. Apparently this is book 2 of Obsidian Heart, so I need to find book 1 at some point. The Wolves of London, so need to keep a lookout for that. The Valley of Fear by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes novel. I've read some Sherlock Holmes, but I think it was Hound of the Baskervilles. I think a lot of people have read that. and some of the short stories. I don't know if I've got the full completed works, but I've not read this one. Super Sad True Love Story by Gary. I should know how to pronounce that because I saw him at iWrite. Steingart, I think is how you pronounce that. I think it's very funny from what I've heard. He also wrote Absurdistan. I've not read this yet. And he was actually at iWrite talking about Super Sad True Love Story. But I didn't have this with me, so it's not signed. Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffenegger. And I've not read The Time Traveler's Wife. I have read, what's it called? The Night Library. It's a graphic novel. Yeah, I think it's called Night Library. And I think I've read one other one, which was also a graphic novel. I think this is large print. Oh, Far From the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. Another one, another classic I haven't read that I think a lot of people have. I did see a movie of Far From the Madding Crowd. Kalich, The Hag of what did I say? Beara. I think it's an island. Exactly, can't exactly remember where it was. By Leanne O'Sullivan. I did not know I had this. It's poetry. Huh. Another library book. What library? No, this is a former Glasgow library book. Okay. Alien Messages from UFO Lights by Margaret Ann Harvey. This, I'm not sure why I bought this. It's another mix library book. I don't know, sometimes you just see a book and you get it just because it's there. Growing up, I had a sort of interest in UFOs, but less so now. This one has some photos. A biography of H.G. Wells, Another Kind of Life, by Michael Sherborne. Has some photos as well. There's the movie Things to Come. I used to have a DVD of that movie. Very good movie, very sort of ahead of its time. And this is the last book of the Book Tower, Echo Boy, by Matt Haig. It looks YA, I'm not exactly sure. I'm also hoping it's science fiction. I think it's involving androids, so it must be science fiction. Another library book. And that is, I believe, the tallest book tower. This is quite a long video. Thanks for watching. Bye.